And then we have cattle pastoralism. The bos primigenius, as it's called in Latin, that was domesticated here in this area. And the cattle pastoralism had an enormous impact on this development here. It also was from about 8 to 7,000 years ago. I have written salt here. Of course, if you have cattle, you have to have salt. And salt is not available everywhere. So you can also say that cattle pastoralism is also kind of encouraging trade and contacts between different people. In Northern Europe, meanwhile, we have kind of agriculture at some sites with wheat and barley and sheep and goats coming in from the east. But the rest is indigenous development that is important to understand. And this is something new, because when I came to Nubian, we didn't have this picture at all. Everything came from the east and spread down into the land. That was the picture then. So we have turned the history a little bit. Perhaps not a little bit, rather much. So we see 6,000 BC, 8,000 years ago, there were a lot of settlements out in the desert. Here's the Nile. And 4,000 BC, you see this adjustment going on. All the settlements are along the Nile, and rather few of the settlements are in the desert areas because of the drying climate. It's getting drier. There is a kind of pottery that was originally found in Khartoum. During the war, at what is Khartoum Hospital today, there was a hospital there too. There was a British archaeologist that was excavating there, and he found this kind of pottery. And then we came to Nubia in 1916, we found this pottery also. And now it's found everywhere, from the Red Sea, more or less, Red Sea hills, all over Sahara. And it is the part of the earliest pottery ever made in the world. Pottery was invented in this area. In Japan, they also invented pottery, but independently. And in somewhere in the Middle East, perhaps Iraq or something like that, they also invented pottery independently. But this pottery makes us understand what is going on in this area, because we know how to date it, we know how to recognize it, and so on. And then pastoralism, I came back to that. That's the key to everything in this development of understanding the strength of these early cultures in Nubia and in the Sudan. The pastoralism led to wealth, social differentiation, also to trade, contacts between people and so on. But I can say social differentiation. It's not necessarily so in Nubia that it was sort of male chauvinism or anything like that. I have investigated the burials of Nubia and found also that the women had a very strong position in Nubia 5,000 years ago. That was quite interesting to note. I think that the women and the children, they lived in their sort of special sphere, and the men in another sphere. So that is guess. This is what I think. But important to understand the pastoralism behind it all. In the museum in Cairo, there is a big palette of schist of stone. It's about 63 centimeters high. And it depicts the earliest kings of Egypt, who became king or Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt and so on. But there are a lot of things that sort of goes back to pastoralism. Goddesses with cows, faces like that, Hathor, a bull, symbolizing the king. The king has a bull's tail here, for instance. All these elements are coming from the pastoralist cultures, I think. So there's a lot of things going that went on inside, in Nubian, in southern Sudan, in the southern Sudan, that is really, really interesting and very important to understand if you should understand the development of the earliest civilization with written languages in the world. This is what I can say to you. Thank you for your attention.
شرفنا وكان رغم انه عنده اختبار ثاني في أوبسالا، وهو كان مصر انه يجي ويبدا 4 الشوكة عشان يفارقنا الساعة 5. unfortunately ما كان اشتغل له. If you have any words in Nubian you can say to them. What do you know? Nubian words?
I forgot, but I can say maskag now. Escalate. Some other things too. Yeah. Sorry. But that's nice. And you can perhaps, I only can hope, Charles, that we can meet another time so we can discuss these things more.
Yeah, inshallah.
Because I know one thing, you are just as concerned as I am about what was going on in Nubian. And I'm a Swede, I cannot tell you that what you should do with your dams or anything like that. This is something you have to decide for yourself. But I can only tell you that the Nubian history is extremely rich and very, very important part of the world history.
عاش النوبيون على الدوام ومارسوا الزراعة على ضفاف نهر النيل، وهم قلقون أيما قلق من احتمال اضطرارهم للرحيل.
المكان الذي نعيش فيه حيوي وهم يفكرون في نقلنا إلى الصحراء. لا يمكن أن نقبل بنقلنا إلى الخلاء مقارنة بالمكان الذي نعيش فيه الآن محاطين بالنيل والنخيل والجزر الخضراء. لا يوجد بديل آخر. نحصل هنا على حصاد وفير بأدنى مجهود، ولذلك من شبه المستحيل أن نقبل بالرحيل إلى مكان آخر.
مياه نهر النيل في صلب حياة النوبيين، فهي عنصر في حياتهم اليومية، ويؤدي الطمي الذي يحملهم إلى المحافظة على خصوبة أراضيهم الزراعية، وكثير منهم عاقدون العزم بقوة على البقاء حيث هم. سنصارع حتى النهاية للبقاء في وطننا. سوف نتكتل معا حتى لا تغرق أرضنا. أقسم بالله إن حاول أي أحد أخذنا من هنا فسنأخذ منه عينين. هذا هو موقع سد كشغان الذي تتوخى الحكومة السودانية السرية حول خططه، فهي لا تكشف تفاصيل موعد بدء أعمال البناء والتشييد الأساسية، وظلت لأشهر